I came here in 1972, employed with Greenix Animal Hospital, and within a year I became a partner and I stayed here. Felicia hadn't showed a lot of interest until she came to our practice in the summer of her first year of university, and we were going from a manual process of those years to a computerized process, and she did a lot of work, became very interested in veterinary medicine, and she was in, I think, business administration when she first went to university, and then went into pre-vet and veterinary medicine.
I would say I officially decided, I should say, I wanted to be a vet probably after my first year of university, actually, at the U of L. So I would have started to do pre-vet before getting into vet school. So there's certain courses that you have to take, right, in order to apply. So I would have done my pre-vet at the U of L here just because we lived here, so that was the easiest. And then vet school was in Saskatoon at the Western College of Veterinary Medicine.
Oh, Saskatoon's a great city, great college. Yes, I mean, it was just really good.
I mean, vet school was a blast, actually. It was a lot of fun. Met a lot of people. It's a pretty tight-knit group. It's almost like you almost go back to high school in a way, because once you're in, I mean, your courses are more or less selected and you just complete your courses, and there's only 70 people in that class. So you get to know each other pretty well. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I obviously grew up with it. I was born in his last year of vet school, so we moved here right away, and yeah, so I pretty much grew up with it. I worked at the clinic when he owned it. I started working when I was probably about 14 years old. I just did the weekend stuff in the back, kennels, cleaning, that kind of stuff. And then he also came from a farm from Saskatchewan, so we'd often go back to the farm to do some of the cattle work. So it was just a scope, and the practice at the time was a mixed practice, so we did both small and large animal. So I think for me, I mean, as a kid, I always liked animals. I think a lot of kids do, right? It's sort of a thing, but yeah, from the perspective of, what you could do as a career, it would have just been exposure, being here, seeing him at work, going on calls with him. Like as a kid, I would like, can I come? Like if there's a calving, I'd want to go to the calving. I want to see this calf being born, or if it was a C-section or whatever. So like that kind of thing always, I guess, interested me. So from that perspective, I would say that would probably be more where the inspiration would come from, just based on exposure.
I'm from a farm background. We had a mixed farm, a lot of cultivated acreages, and we had about under 300 head of cattle. Horses, we had everything on our farm, of course. Everybody did back then, pigs and chickens and everything else. But as a young person, I worked more with the cattle than I did with the farmer until later on in my teenage life, and I just decided at one point in time that perhaps I should pursue veterinary medicine.
I went riding one day and the horse got cut, so I came here, got some stuff to fix it, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I need to be doing. From an owner perspective, I think the hardest part of the job is just managing staff and people. That's always challenging. We are really fortunate here, though. We have a fantastic group, but we really kind of keep close tabs on that. We've got a great working culture here, so we're pretty protective of that. From the veterinary aspect end of things, and I don't think I'm probably alone in this, probably the toughest part is going to be the whole euthanasia bit, right? And not so much when they're old and they're sick and there's actually good, like there's good reason for it, I guess, for lack of a better word, but it's the tough ones are the ones when it's more of a financial decision. That always weighs on everybody, right? Like it weighs on the client, it weighs on the vet, and there's just a lot of things that surround that make it difficult for sure. I like the variety. Like, there's never really a day that goes by that you can never say you know everything, because you just never will. You're always going to be learning something. So there's certainly the variety that comes from the job and not knowing what's going to walk in the door, or even sometimes what animal you're going to see to some extent. So the variety is good. And then for me, there's a part of it where I don't even mind just the everyday routine stuff, like spays, neuters, dogs, cats. Like the more you do, the better you get. Like sometimes it's just fun to just see how fast, like just see how well and fast you can do it, right? Like that's more of a, I guess, a challenge thing.